when you think about polling and you ask somebody, okay, are you going to vote in the 2016 presidential election? One of the things you want to determine is, did they vote in 2012? We know that voting is habitual. People who voted the most recent election are more likely to vote in this election. But if they didn't, then you might discount their likelihood of voting. So when pollsters are collecting the information, they say, okay, how am I going to work out what we call the likely voter screen? We're going to ask a series of questions and we're going to determine if they're likely voters. They may not have reached likely voter or past that likely voter screen.
Yeah.
We also saw quite a few voters go for Obama in 08, Obama 12, Trump in 16.
Yeah.
Well, you
I think
may
you
have
saw that
missed
in
some of
Ohio a lot.
Saw
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
oh yeah, in many places in the Mahoning Valley, for instance.
Yeah.
And you saw it in Wisconsin and Michigan and some of those rural and small towns. And yeah, so were you getting those voters, or were you, getting high propensity voters that may not have liked Trump, even though, they lived in maybe some of those communities? And so it's very difficult. So they underrepresented the white working class in 2016.
Yes.
And they did it because their samples were skewed and they didn't know it. And that's tough sometimes to know ahead of time. In 2020, we had a pandemic, right?
Yeah.
And people are sitting at home.
Yeah.
And people were interested in talking about politics. And they would get a phone call and they're like, well, I haven't really talked to anybody today, so I'm going to talk to this pollster. And so, people were willing to do that. But who was more willing to talk? And so this is the problem you run into with polling is, when you call a household, you want to get a random adult.
Yeah.
We know that people who answer the phone are different than those who don't. I'm an introvert. Odds of me answering the phone if I don't know who the number is, very low. If I'm a chatterbox, though, I might pick up the phone and say, hey, why not? And if it's during a pandemic and I'm lonely, I'm going to pick up the phone and I'm going to talk to somebody, right? And so what you end up seeing is that there were a lot of people, college-educated voters, who wanted to talk about politics, who were willing to take the survey. And there were a lot of people who just let the phone ring and didn't answer it. And the people who answer the phone were more likely to be Biden supporters. People less likely to take the surveys, Trump supporters.